Just the other day, I was holding a big Snickers in my hand, ready to enjoy it. But a random thought on my mind hit me. How much weight am I actually adding to my body right now eating this? I looked at the food facts label, about 440 calories in one bar. Well, the number didn't really mean anything to me, so I googled, how many calories do I need to eat to gain 1 pound of weight? And the answer was 3,500 calories, and 7,700 will gain me a whole kilo. So you're telling me eating 8 bars like this will gain me a pound? Well, not quite. I dug deeper and found out that there's a number of calories that my body uses every day to maintain itself. So if I eat 3,500 calories above that number, I will gain the pound. But what is that magical number? It is different for everyone, but for me it was around 2,200 according to this calculator. I checked a couple other calculators and the number was always around the 2,200 mark, so I'll roll along with it. So I got curious and decided to actually track an entire normal day. I wonder if I eat above that limit every day. The result was starting a normal day, I wake up at 6 a.m. and start getting ready to work. On my way there, I buy 2 chocolate donuts for breakfast and I grab this amazing grand hot chocolate from Starbucks, which is my favorite drink. Well, what can I say? I really love chocolate. I head to work and during lunch break, I head off to McDonald's and order a Big Mac meal, medium fries, and a medium Coke. And that's lunch. I already crossed my entire day's worth of calories by lunch and it's not even 2 p.m. But I wanted to see how bad it really gets by the end of the day, so I continued my day as normal. The vending machine at work contains so many tempting snacks and every time I pass by it, I'm so tempted to buy something. Well, I finally gave in and grabbed the big Snickers because that's my favorite. And after work, on my way home, I just can't go past the bakery near my place without grabbing a croissant. That place just smells so good. For dinner, I am too lazy and rarely cook for myself, so I just ordered a box of mac and cheese. And before bed, while watching some YouTube, I snacked on a bowl of ice cream. The total is just above 4,000 calories, double what I actually need in a day. To remind you, eating 3,500 calories above my daily limit will approximately gain me a pound of weight, and 7,700 will gain me a whole kilo. So just another day like this will gain me a pound. I need a second here. This genuinely got to me. I felt betrayed, like I'd been lied to my whole life about what a normal day of eating looks like. And here's the thing, I'm not some extreme case, not shredded, but also not visibly overweight. I'm just a normal guy. Yet, after a couple of weeks eating like this, I had already gained 5 kilos without feeling like I had changed anything. I had spent my whole life putting junk into my body without realizing how bad it actually was. Nobody ever taught me this. I learned algebra in school, I learned the water cycle, I even learned that the mitochondria is the powerhouse of the cell, but nobody ever handed me a fast food receipt and said, this one meal alone is more than half of what you need for the entire day. We just grow up watching everyone around us eat like this, so it never seems alarming. It just seems normal. No wonder about 16% of the global adults population are living with obesity. In the US, this number is actually worse, at around 40%. At that point, I knew I had to stop before it became a real problem. I needed a complete reset. But how? What was I supposed to eat instead? And just while researching food options and alternatives, I learned something even worse. The more processed food you eat, the more your brain craves it. Research shows that regularly eating highly processed food can strengthen the brain's reward and habit circuits, making those foods harder to resist. This can lead to addiction-like behaviors, including stronger cravings, binge eating, and needing more food to feel the same level of satisfaction. On top of that, healthier food can take more effort, be harder to find, or cost more. I set one goal for myself: eat roughly the calories I actually need, not 4,000. This involved a lot of looking at food labels and Googling, and some not so nice surprises, like finding out how many calories are packed into oil. Around 900 calories. Now, I wasn't willing to torture myself. If the replacement isn't actually enjoyable, it doesn't last. So everything here had to still taste good. I put together a simple 4-step plan based on my research. I followed it consistently every day, and by the end, The results honestly spoke for themselves. First, I started by addressing all of those sweet cravings. Instead of processed sweets, I go for fruits. Honestly, any fruit is fair game. I love bananas, strawberries, oranges, apples, kiwis, pretty much all of it. I just grab whichever one I'm in the mood for in that day. Believe it or not, one serving of each of these fruits combined still contains fewer calories than a single king-size Snickers. And unlike the Snickers, just one of those fruit servings is usually enough to keep me satisfied. The second habit that I had to address was my morning drink, the hot chocolate. This one was very difficult because old habits die hard, so I cut it down to only twice a week. The goal is to gradually reduce it even further, ideally to once a week. For the next step in my plan, I had to rethink my main meals. I would rotate between meals like a chicken and rice bowl, beef chili, or baked salmon with potatoes. I wanted every meal to have a good balance of protein and carbs to keep me full and energized. Then, I would just bring the leftovers to work the next day. It beat ordering a Big Mac, and it was much better for my wallet too. I also stuck to recipes that took under 30 minutes because, let's be honest, I'm still kind of lazy, but I'm working on that. I'm actually excited to show you what my new day looks like and how many calories I end up eating. But before that, there's one last step in my plan, adding fiber or salad in other words. I started having a bowl of salad with my dinner every evening because it's packed with fiber, which helps keep me full for longer. And it barely adds any calories. I'll be honest, I don't actually like the taste of plain salad, so I use a low-calorie yogurt-based dressing to make it enjoyable. Is it the perfect choice? Well, obviously not, but it beats not eating the salad at all. Now that I had a plan, I committed to it. The results honestly surprised me. I wake up ready for a fresh start at 6 a.m. I make 2 scrambled eggs for myself and ate them with 2 bread slices and a little cheese because I wanted to actually be full, around 500 calories. And it worked. I wasn't hungry again until noon. For lunch, I packed a meal that I had prepared the day before, rice and chicken and a bag of salad. Honestly, it was so filling that it really surprised me, and that was only 650 calories. I just want to take a moment here to appreciate just how different my eating habits had become. Before, I had already gone over my entire calorie target by lunchtime. Now, after 2 full meals, I was only about halfway there, with plenty of room left for dinner and even a snack if I wanted one. After work, while walking home, it was so tempting to just grab the croissant from the bakery as always, but I told myself, no, I need to lock in. I need to actually give this new system a real shot. So, instead, I went home and made 2 potatoes with sour cream while listening to a podcast. That's another 400 calories. Later that night, while watching YouTube, I got a little bit hungry, but instead of reaching for the ice cream, I grabbed a banana. Depending on the day, it might be strawberries or an apple instead. And honestly, I was full. All in all, that day came to around 1650 calories, comfortably under my 2200 calorie target. But is that really such a big deal? Let me explain. Every single day, I was eating roughly 550 calories less than what my body needed to maintain its weight. When you consistently eat fewer calories than your body needs, it has to make up the difference by using the energy stored in your body, mainly from body fat. Remember earlier when we talked about how it roughly takes 3,500 calories to gain a pound? The opposite is true for losing one. Over a week, that 550 calorie deficit adds up to about 3,850 calories, which is just over a pound. And after sticking to this for a month, I had already lost about 4 pounds of the 11 pounds I had gained. I still have a bit to go, but for the first time, it actually feels sustainable. I always thought losing weight meant giving up the foods I loved, or living with constant hunger. Turns out, all I really needed was a plan I could actually stick to. I still indulge around once a week, or when I'm out with friends, I just eat and don't think about the numbers. And even then, I do catch myself making small choices like using a little less oil. One meal isn't going to undo weeks of good habits, and pretending otherwise is exactly why so many people give up so quickly. If there's one thing I hope you take away from this, It's that you don't have to change your whole life overnight. Just make one better choice today than another tomorrow and stick with it. Those are the changes that actually last. I hope you learned something new today and will take better care of yourself. Stay healthy.